You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
We are on River Avenue, and tonight, CC Sabathia will try to keep the flow of winning going, and Chipper Jones will try to stop it. Chipper's in with the Atlanta Braves, as tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Atlanta Braves in the first of three from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Boy, the Yankees have been great. 9 wins in a row, and yesterday, 4-1 victory over the Washington Nationals. And, John, if you look at that game, it's a lot like all the others, pitching and power.
Yeah, this team hits a lot of home runs, but the rotation has been the story lately. And Ivan Nova, this guy just wins ball games at the major league level. Picks up his 9th win of the year yesterday, had 4 strikeouts, a good breaking ball, and he went deep in that ball game, which the Yankees needed. But like you said, Michael, they hit home runs. Curtis Granderson has been doing it all year long. His 21st of the year, he now has 40 RBIs. And Joe Girardi says that the Yankees offensively are a home run hitting team. Robinson Cano proves him right. His 12th of the year going the other way. All in all, the Yankees have a great road trip and a nice win yesterday, 4-1 in Washington, D.C.
And boy, did the Yankees own the National League East. They swept the Mets. They swept the Braves. They swept the Nationals. They score runs in those games. Most of all, though, that bottom line's important. Look at the ERA. The first time, by the way, since 1998, when they won 125 and 50, that they've swept 3 straight 3-game or more series. Pretty impressive. Let's take a look at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Mike Minor will go for the Braves, 3-4 with a 6.01. CC Sabathia for the Yankees, 8-3, 3.70. Last time out, Kenny, against the Braves, CC wasn't at his best, but he still got a victory.
Yeah, last Tuesday night in Atlanta, CC struggled right from the start. The Braves scored 3 runs in the first inning. Brian McCampbell, a double, put runners at second and third. Then a base on balls. Matt Diaz with the bases loaded. Runs went into the corner. The Braves unload the bases, had 3 runs. CC turned it on from that point on. The Braves scored 1 more run. He had 6 strikeouts in 7 innings. In the 8th, the Yankees scored 6 runs and won the game 6-4.
So Sabathia is trying to take the baton from the other 4 starters. All the guys in the rotation have been lights out. It's been amazing, especially since the start of June. And John Flaherty will talk about it more when we return next on Yes. Yankees baseball of late has been their starting rotation. Take a look at what they've done in June. They've been absolutely exemplary. Tonight's starter, CC Sabathia, has probably been the least effective, and he's certainly been effective. 3.80 ERA, 2-1. The other numbers are just unbelievable. In June combined, 11-1, 1.97. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. We'll be rejoined in just a moment by Ken Singleton. John, can you have envisioned, or could you have envisioned, this sort of outing and this sort of month for this group of guys after the way they struggled over the first 2 months?
Well, I think you put it perfectly. They struggled over the first 2 months, and we all knew that they were better than their numbers. I think the addition of Andy Pettitte in May really gave that rotation a little stability. And then you got to look at the bottom three who have made adjustments. Kuroda adjusting to the American League East. I think Phil Hughes kind of getting rid of that cutter has helped his game out. And Nova staying away from the big hit, the big home run has really helped him. So all in all, you have a rotation right now feeding off of each other, and the Yankees feel awfully good about it.
Well, will CC Sabathia feed off the performance that he saw yesterday? That's right. The Yankees just keep pushing the next starter. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees, Braves, next on Yes. Brought to you in part by Dodge. Go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup by J&R Music and Computer World. And by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. So the Yankees dominate on the road, and they are back home and try to extend their winning streak across the street. Kids dreaming of playing in the big ballpark, taking their turns on Heritage Field. So as CC takes his warm-ups, let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup that will face the Yankee lefty. Michael Bourne in center will lead off, batting second and playing first base. Martin Prado, Brian McCann will DH. He'll hit third. Dan Uggla at second base cleans up. Batting fifth and playing left field, Matt Diaz. Chipper Jones, the third baseman, will bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing right field, Jason Hayward. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And David Ross will catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
CC Sabathia gets the start for the Yankees tonight and against the Braves in his career. He's 2-1. Look at his overall numbers on the year: 8-3, ERA 3.7. You can see the opponents hitting .253. Let's check out the pitching scouting report on CC Sabathia. He's second in the winning leagues, tied in the league in wins. Ivan Nova leads the league with 9. Second in strikeouts to Justin Verlander. Third in innings pitch, and he's won 9 of his last 11 interleague starts.
Bourne is ready. Sabathia is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is offered at bunting, and he misses, and we're underway. The count 0-1. Bourne had his 14-game hitting streak snapped yesterday with an 0-for-4. Still having a very good year. The 0-1. Driven out to left center field and deep. That is not going to be caught by anybody. It splits the outfielders and it goes to the wall. Bourne is hustling around second. He's going to third, and he will make it with a triple.
Well, Kenny, in the open, you mentioned the Braves jumping on CC Sabathia last Tuesday, getting to him early in this game, and Bourne doing the same thing. Ball up in the zone, driving it the other way. Little show of power, and then he always has the speed, turns around second, and he will kick it into another gear. The play right in front of him, does not need to look at the third base coach, and lead off triple.
Now one of the fastest runners in baseball with a 3-base hit, still catching his breath over there third.
So he's at third. Here's Martin Prado. And there's a strike. Manny Gonzalez is the home plate umpire.
You see the numbers for Prado, awfully good. 313, a perfect number 2 guy in the lineup. Hits the ball the other way well, and if he hits a ground ball up the middle, the Braves will have a lead.
And it's a ground ball short. The Braves have a lead. Cheater will take the out at first. Bourne scores. They're starting to get celebrities out in the bleachers now for roll call. First they had Jack Curry. Now they have Cedric the Entertainer with Bald Vinny. And right to Vinny's left elbow is Joanna Garcia. That's Nick Swisher's wife.
How do you ask him for an autograph? You go up there and say, Mr. Entertainer, could I have a autograph?
There's Brian McCann. And a strike.
I like how you threw Jack Curry's name in there.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
He started the celebrity role. Antoine Jameson was out there. It's now the thing to do.
Chance for Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez to give Brian McCann a half a night off, use him as a designated hitter. He's certainly been an all-star for 6 years. First 6 full years in the league was an all-star every year. All-star catcher for the Braves. Got a beautiful swing.
Didn't get to use it there as he takes a called third strike for the second out. Let's check out the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, it's Nix, Granderson, and Jones. That's left to right. Infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Chris Stewart behind the plate for the second straight game. Russell Martin DHing today. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. Here's Dan Uggla. 3 hits in his last 24 at-bats. And he grounds that one to A-Rod. Fields it deep and close to the line. Fires across the diamond, and that will do it in the first. But the Braves score 1 on 1 hit. It's the Braves 1 and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Plate with a turn against Mike Minor, and tonight's Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second, playing center, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first base, he'll hit third. Cleaning up third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano at second will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Andrew Jones. Nick Swisher needs another day with that Charlie horse. That gets Russell Martin in the lineup as a DH, batting seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field, Jason Nix. And Chris Stewart behind the plate will bat ninth.
Last Tuesday night in Atlanta, this was the matchup that we had. CC Sabathia against 24-year-old left-hander Mike Minor. Minor got a no decision in that start. You can look at his season numbers. He's been pitching much better lately. His ERA is still over 6, so he struggled early in the year. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report on Mike Minor. Braves top draft pick, #1 pick in 2009, so he got to the big leagues fairly quickly. He pitched well in the ATL against the Yankees, 7 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. And it's time for a change. He had a great changeup in that game. Had the Yankees hitters in between. Just enough fastball, excellent changeup. The Yankees certainly have more respect for him now than he did the first time they saw him.
And they also have more knowledge because they have seen him. Here's Derek Jeter, and the first pitch is a strike.
Minor came away with a no decision So the Yankees jumped on the Braves bullpen in Atlanta. Alex Rodriguez hit the grand slam that tied Lou Gehrig on the all-time list. Nick Swisher added a 2-run shot to win it.
Derek has an 8-game hitting streak. He's 9 for 31 during the streak. And the Yankees have a 9-game winning streak, all against teams with winning records, and that's the longest winning streak of its kind in franchise history. Started in 1903. They have never won 9 in a row against teams over 500. Last time a major league team did that, you have to go back to 2008. The Blue Jays won 10 in a row against teams with winning records, but the Yankees never before. 1-2. Grounded to short. Simmons gets Jeter. 1 away. Let's check out the Braves defense. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Diaz, Bourne, and Hayward left to right in the outfield. Infield, future Hall of Famer Chipper Jones, Simmons, Ugla, and Prado third to first. David Ross behind the plate, and Mike Minor is on the mound. Time for another sweep. Wow. Curtis Granderson takes a strike. Never seen Mike Gonzalez or Manny Gonzalez behind the plate. He certainly has a loud strike call, calling a lot of strikes early. The 0-2. There's a ball, 1-2.
I was just thinking about that sign we just saw about getting out the brooms. Actually, winning streaks are comprised of 1-game winning streaks, one at a time. So to think 2 games ahead, that's get a little ahead of yourself, if you will.
And Granderson down swinging.
You guys can speak better to this watching Minor. I talked to Kevin Long, the hitting instructor. He said fastball, changeup, occasionally curveball, and maybe a cutter. And already the first 2 batters seen a couple of curveballs and a good cutter slider right there to get Granderson. And maybe switching up the game plan a little bit from what he did last Tuesday.
Mark Teixeira takes a strike.
Tex had 3 hits yesterday in Washington.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 66 degrees, 67% humidity. The wind is 10 miles per hour, and it's partly cloudy. 1-2. The Braves are trying to break really an inexplicable streak. There have been 9 Mondays for them in the regular season, and it's just another manic Monday for them. They're 0-9 on Monday. What does that mean? Don't know, but they have not won a game on Monday. And they lost to the Yankees last Monday.
Oh, what's that song, Blue Monday?
Blue Monday?
It's about, celebrating over the weekend. You got the weekend off, and then you have to go back to work on Monday.
It takes a little time to get going during the week.
The 2-2. Check swing. Pop foul out of play.
I think that song was by Fats Domino. That's a while back. Certainly before your time, Flash, and Michael's too. I don't think Michael remembers Fats Domino.
I remember Fats Domino.
Yeah.
Never hung out with him, but I remember him.
There's Freddie Gonzalez, the Braves manager. Braves have been streaky this year.
They were streaky last year. They had a bad streak right out of the playoffs. Strike 3 as Teixeira down looking. Yankees go down in order against Minor. We're going to go to the 2nd inning. Braves lead the Yankees 1-0. Matt Diaz leads off. Here are your choices. Is it 1, 9-0 versus NL East, 13-2 record in June, which is the best in baseball, or 21 road wins, also the best in baseball? You could text your vote to 42951, and standard text messaging rates apply. Matt Diaz against CC Sabathia as the Braves lead 1-0. Swings at the first pitch and grounds it to short. Jeter over to Teixeira, 1 away.
I mean, all those choices are impressive, but one thing to think about, when the Yankees, they have the best record all time in interleague play, and interleague play usually begins in June, lately a few games in May, but that's when the Yankees start to build on their record, up because of interleague play. So that's kind of an every year thing that happens with them about this time of year.
I like that stat, winning road games. So is that 21 wins on the road, most in the major leagues? Always a good sign for a championship club.
Chipper Jones swings at the first pitch and drives it to right center. Ooh. And almost a collision as Granderson avoids Jones and makes the play.
And I thought I heard or saw Curtis say, "Did you hear me?" He's saying, "I got it."
Ooh.
Just got the glove in front of Jones's glove to make the catch.
Jason Hayward takes a strike.
Flash, you ever played any games in the outfield?
Never.
They wouldn't put you out there.
Well, I played a softball game here at the stadium last week. Played left field.
Really? How'd
My
you
only
like it?
time ever. I was scared to death out there.
I know Michael's played the outfield before.
Right.
Oh, you played right field?
Yes. That's where they put the chubby kid in Little League.
Braves not waiting around against CC Sabathia, going up there and swinging at the first pitch. Diaz and Jones, 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Hayward getting the start tonight, despite the fact he hasn't hit lefties very well.
16 for 81, 198 against lefties. But he's been one of the hotter Braves. 4-game hitting streak, 15 for his last 46.
Yeah, it was he who kept the Braves from being no-hit the other night in Atlanta against Baltimore. It was his single in the 7th inning off Jason Hamilton made that a 1-hitter instead of a no-hitter.
CC has thrown 14 pitches, 12 for strikes. Now 13. As Hayward swings and misses, and the Braves go down in order. We're going to go to the second. Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano, and Andrew Jones will come up.
for the McDonald's team scouting report. And tonight we're going to go with the New York Yankees. You can see manager Joe Girardi there in the background, and team power. Yankees have hit 99 home runs, most in the big leagues. I know a lot of you on Twitter have picked your Yankee who you think is going to hit number 100. We might find out pretty soon. 10 wins and 2 losses in interleague play. That's the best record going in interleague play this year. And one thing that I think that's overlooked with the Yankees, solid defense. It made just 26 errors, the fewest in the major leagues.
Alex Rodriguez takes inside. One and one.
Talking to Alex by the batting cage today, had a lot of nice things to say about that ballpark in Washington, D.C. Nice place to hit, fair.
Yeah, you aren't going to get any cheapy home runs. If you hit it, it would go, though. Yeah. It was fair.
3 tremendous crowds, over 40,000 each game. A lot of atmosphere in the ballpark. Electricity. And it kind of showed how many Yankee fans were in the park yesterday. Michael, remember when Nova walked off after 7 and 3rd innings? I mean, it was like being in the Bronx.
Well, you almost understand that because it's a short train ride, but how about in Atlanta, Kenny?
Yeah, that too.
It was amazing. And Alex Rodriguez works a walk, so that's the first Yankee base runner. Big story today in sports. Roger Clemens' trial ended in Washington, D.C. He was brought up on 6 counts of perjury, and he was found not guilty on all 6 counts. He was facing up to 30 years in jail and a $1.5 million fine, but a 9-week trial, 2 trials. One was a mistrial, and then this 9-week trial. The jury didn't deliberate for very long, not guilty on every single count. So you really wonder what was accomplished with that 9-week trial.
A lot of money spent on both sides.
Here's Cano. Grounded up the middle. There's 1, and there's 2.
Look at the double play, broken bat roll of the Ugla. He flips to Simmons, who is a good-looking young shortstop. And over to Martin Prado playing first base tonight for the 4-6-3 double play.
And Jack and Bob spoke about this on the pregame show. Now the debate goes on. The end of next year, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds will be eligible for the Hall of Fame. So what does this mean for the way the voters will look at Clemens' Hall of Fame status? There's Andrew Jones.
You know, getting back to the trial itself for a second here, Michael, within a shadow of a doubt comes to, that's the phrase that comes in my mind. You have to be proven. You know, there has to be no doubt whatsoever. There certainly was a lot of doubt, and that's why Clemens walked, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if you try to break it down from how it started, he was in the Mitchell report. Then he appeared before Congress to say he didn't do it. Then Congress said that he lied to Congress, and then the government couldn't prove it. So was the Mitchell report then somewhat tainted because the way that he got on the Mitchell report was through Brian McNamee's testimony, and Brian McNamee's testimony didn't exactly hold up in court in D.C. over 9 weeks.
It didn't.
So it opens up a whole can of worms. Maybe this puts the steroid era in the rearview mirror for baseball. We'll see. The 1-2. 2-2.
Now, Hall of Fame voting is something else because, you know, each and every writer has his own opinion. And that certainly goes into their way of thinking and what they're going to do as far as their individual votes are concerned. And since they're all not in one room when they're making their votes, it's not like one could influence the other. Maybe they could. They'd probably talk about it, but have discussion about it. But that's going to be interesting to me to see how this plays out as far as Hall of Fame voting is concerned.
It's just weird because when you talk to a lot of the writers, they say, well, anybody that's been stained by it, they're not going to vote for. Well, has he been stained by it if he found not guilty of perjury? So that is strike 3 as Andrew Jones down looking. He does not like the call. Then he has a word with Manny Gonzalez. We played 2 here in the Bronx. The Braves lead the Yankees 1-0 on Yes. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Wednesday afternoon, June 27th, for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Indians. The first 30,000 guests in attendance receive sunscreen, courtesy of La Roche-Posay. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Simmons swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Teixeira will make the play. 1 out.
See if CC can take advantage of this. The Braves going up there, very aggressive first pitch swinging. Make some quality pitches early. Should be some easy outs.
Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Braves.
You don't want to take a strike when he's.
Wow.
That's only strike 1. Imagine what it's like on call strike 3, Fred.
See if he has a little CB Buckner dance. He's got the voice.
Didn't even flinch. A little eye blink. That's about it. The 0-2. 1-2. 2-2. Grounded foul.
Ross getting the start tonight. McCann, being the all-star that he is, plays against all types of pitching.
Unusual tonight, huh, Kenny? We got all 4 catchers in the ballgame. DHing.
There's a base hit. Sounded like a broken bat. David Ross with a 1-out single.
Here is the Home Depot hitter scatter report on Michael Bourne tonight. Braves are hitting the road after their recent homestand, and boy, he had a great homestand. Hit 382 on the homestand. The Yankees saw part of it. He got some hits against the Yankees in Atlanta. 89 hits, second in the National League, the former Yankee Melky Cabrera. And since 2008, 232 stolen bases. That is the most in the major leagues. Bourne's name and speed is his game.
Tripled and scored in the first inning. One and 0. Can we talk Melky for just a second? Did anybody see this? Did anybody see this coming? I mean, he's having an MVP season.
Now that I think about it, probably not. But did he get a lot of walk-off hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did with the Yankees. So he spent some time with the Braves, but accordingly, with the Braves, he was not in good condition. And then they sent him to the Kansas City, and then from Kansas City went to the Giants, and just took off. 95 hits from Melky Cabrera.
You know, I remember watching him thinking there was something different about his swing, Kenny. You know, the catcher in me always came out like, how am I going to get this guy out? And he has proved me wrong. I thought he was a 4th outfielder, good defender, switch hitter, a nice guy to have on your club, but not leading the major leagues in hits. I didn't see that.
And he's become almost a cult figure in San Francisco, where they have a group of people sitting in the stands. They call themselves the Milkmen. They have outfits. I think that John Sterling should get some payback for that, because he named him the Milkman.
What do you say, Milkman Delivered?
Yes.
Yeah. Which, you know, is sort of a thing of the past.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Bourne. Runner on first base. There's John and Susan.
Give Bourne a little bit of credit here. Some good sliders that he's been able to lay off of with 2 strikes. Extending the at-bat, looking for a pitch to hit here. 3-2.
John, anything that was up in the zone in Atlanta, he hit.
He took care of it.
Like, well, he's a member of the Braves, but he tomahawked.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. He's asking the umpire, was that a strike?
Well, CC wins the battle. He threw some good ones down and away, and then starts it on the plate, elevates a little bit, finishes off. See, Stewart loved it.
Maybe a little off the plate. He asked the umpire. The umpires used to tell after you swung at it was. You know. You're right, Michael. They're going up there hacking. They don't want Sabathia to get ahead of them on the counts. See that 312 batting average for Prado. 373 against left-handed pitching.
Swing and a miss. Count 0-2. 1-0 Braves. A triple by Bourne to open the game. Then a ground out by Prado scored the run. That's where we are right now. David Ross chatting with Mark Teixeira at first base. The 0-2. Right in on the fist, popped up. Cano drifts over smoothly. It makes the play, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Russell Martin will start it off. the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. There's my uncle. Dan Aiello is at the game. Moonstruck, do the right thing. Sees himself on TV.
Johnny Camareri in Moonstruck.
That's your wife Suzanne's favorite character, right?
Favorite movie. She's got a poster of it in the house with the sheriff.
Russell Martin 1 for 18. He has not had a hit since that walk-off against the Mets.
He was out taking early batting practice today. Let's see if it paid off.
Lincoln scoreboard 1-0. Braves lead.
You know, Flash, everybody thinks batting practice, you get your stroke down. You also get your strike zone down. You realize what pitches are strikes and which aren't. Oh! And then all of a sudden, you're swinging at strikes and spraying line drives all over the ballpark with extra batting practice.
It's surprising that Martin went through this little tough stretch that you mentioned, Michael. He was hitting the ball well the other way, driving it the other way. You watch Minor pitching here, though. I mean, the velocity 90-91, but a lot of Yankees are late on that fastball.
I think it's because he's got a good changeup. Yeah. Very good when the motion, there's no difference the way he delivers the ball. It's very hard to pick up the change.
I talked with Tom Glavine today, and I thought he made some good points. He said he would teach the change to all pitchers. He said because what you want to do is keep hitters off balance. He said, but in today's game, he said, and I think that's why there are so many arm injuries. Harder, harder, hardest. He said, just keep trying to throw as hard as you can. He said, but the changeup is a key pitch right there.
There it is. You know, I think a lot of youngsters get signed because of what the radar gun reading says. If you can throw really hard, but I would teach youngsters a changeup before I would teach them a breaking ball.
And you can see the okay grip. What did Tom Glavine say? I mean, a changeup is such a feel pitch, though. You can't just teach it to everybody and you can get a feel for it. I mean,
it's a hard pitch.
Yeah, it's a hard pitch to learn.
But isn't
master.
It worth it, John, to learn it?
Oh, it is. But, you know, I know even from my perspective, throwing a ball with touch and feel was the hardest thing. When you throw it as hard as you can, it just came naturally.
Nix hits one deep to center field. Bourne is back, and he'll make the play right in front of the warning track for the second out. He also brought up a really great point about Greg Maddux. He said Greg Maddux was drafted in the second round. He threw 88 miles an hour. He said that would never happen now. He said, now I would probably be drafted because I throw left-handed. He said, but for a righty that throws 88, you'd never see him drafted now in the second round. So you wonder how many guys are out there that could be effective in the major leagues and never get the chance because they don't light up the gun.
Yeah, you know, my old college coach is a scout now, and we go back and forth arguing all the time. There are organizations that say if you're not 6'3", 6'4", and throw 90, 92, 93, don't even recommend them.
Wow. If you don't have that typical pitcher's build.
Yeah, the physical stature. What about that guy who can get a big out, you know, in a big spot?
Mm-hmm.
Jeter's on deck.
Chris Stewart's got to be loving this, huh? Back-to-back days. A backup player usually play once every 5. And catching CC Sabathia gets an opportunity. He catches yesterday. A nice win by Nova. Come right back.
Stewart had 2 hits yesterday too. Now Joe Girardi did say that if Nick Swisher were healthy tonight, Russell Martin would have done the catching. But Nick Swisher still dealing with that Charlie horse. Not quite ready to come back into the lineup.
Tap back to Minor. And that'll do it. The Yankees don't have a hit through 3 innings. And only the 9 batters have come to the plate. Brian McCann will lead off in the fourth against CC. Ryan and Greg Maddux, we just talked about him, each had 20 seasons of 10 or more wins. Who's the only pitcher in Major League history to have 10 or more wins in 21 seasons? We'll find out at the bottom of the inning. Brian McCann, Dan Uggla, and Matt Diaz against CC. Now, so far in interleague play, the Braves DHs are 1 for 8, and McCann is a DH, so they struck out in the first inning. And if you look at how the National League has been dominated playing in American League cities, you could actually make the case that they're at more of a disadvantage than American League teams are in National League cities, because most pitchers can't hit. Even if they're in the National League, they don't hit very well. But most National League teams aren't built to have that guy come off the bench with power. So you're at a disadvantage to the ALDH. Now, in this case, you have a guy who can really hit, but then you replace him at catcher with a guy who doesn't hit nearly as well.
You know, one thing, I agree with you all the way, though, Mike, but one thing, American League pitchers not only do they not hit, they usually can't bunt very well either. And that's where the National League has the advantage in their own parks. Their pitchers work on bunting.
There's a strike. The Braves are 5-7 in interleague play so far this year. Last year they were 10-5. The Yankees are 10-2 in interleague play. They lost 2 games to the Reds.
Kenny, you mentioned McCann plays pretty much every day, lefties or righties, hitting .279 against lefties, coming in actually better against lefties than righties this year.
And he walks. Yankees have always excelled in interleague play. They have the best record all time, 167 and 109, and we mentioned they're 10-2 this year. The Braves are 134 and 119, and that's the best record of any National League team. But the top 5 teams, as you can see, they're American League teams.
Before the game today, Dan Uggla made a point to Braves cleanup hitter here. Made a point to talk to Joe Girardi. He actually played for Joe back in 2006 with the then Florida Marlins. Drove in 90 runs for Joe that year, hit 27 homers.
Line to left field. That is a base hit in front of Nix. So first and second, nobody out here in the fourth.
When you watch Ugla hit, it just seems so simple. You know, get it ready, a little bit of a leg kick, and try to drive the ball as hard as you can. The second baseman with some serious power.
Got some Popeye arms on him.
Abbreviated leg kick off the end of the bat. Base hit into left field, but it seems like his attitude is swing as hard as you can. Drive the ball for a middle infielder.
That'll bring up Diaz. Shows bunt. Takes inside.
The Yankees are in on the corners like they're expecting him to bunt. And Diaz had some pretty good numbers against CC Sabathia. And he got that big double in Atlanta as well, with the bases loaded.
This should be two. There's one, and there's two. McCann moves to third.
Big pitch when you need it from CC Sabathia, down in the zone. Once Robinson Cano gets a glove on it, it's going to be an easy play. Nice job at taking his time, making sure the good throw.
Here's Chipper Jones, 40 years old, and he will retire at the end of this season. One of the great switch hitters in baseball history, but he just can't keep himself healthy.
This is the first trip for the Braves into the new Yankee Stadium.
So unless they make the playoffs, this is his first and last trip in here. He's familiar with the old Yankee Stadium, played there in the '96 and '99 World Series. These are the Braves and Yankees still active. Chipper, Andrew, Derek Jeter, and Andy Pettitte. Their ages then and now. Mariano was 26 then, 42 now, recovering from knee surgery. Chopped Alex Rodriguez. And that'll do it. So CC works out of trouble. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Top of the Yankee order coming up in the bottom of the fourth. Ryan and Maddox each had 20 seasons of 10 or more wins. Who's the only pitcher in Major League history to have 10 or more wins in 21 seasons?
You got to get Cy Young, don't you? Probably wasn't him once.
It was Don Sutton.
Wow. Oh.
Now broadcaster with the Braves. And partaking in some Yankee Stadium popcorn, which was very good.
And before the game today, Derek Jeter in batting practice. Chipper Jones was standing near the cage, and Derek steps in. Yeah, Derek can needle people. He looks over Chipper's direction and says, "Hey, there's Chipper Jones. I grew up watching him." Everybody got a laugh out of it.
Grounded to second. One away. And that's Derek all over Chipper. A lot of respect there, those two. You know, when I talked to Glavin today, he brought up a very interesting debate. He said, we won the division title 14 years in a row, and we won just one World Series. So people might say that's a failure. They won in 1995. He said, but I don't think it's a failure. He said, I don't think that anybody will ever win 14 straight division titles again. He said, so what would you rather be, the Braves winning 14 straight division titles with one World Series, or be the Toronto Blue Jays to win 2 straight World Series and disappear after that? Tough call, right? Because you pay off on championships.
Well, I think of the Braves and 14 straight division championships. As an entire organization, what an accomplishment that is, from your scouts to the minor league system, developing players year in and year out to stay at that level. That's pretty impressive.
To be so strong for so long.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between the two organizations, though, when you look at what the Blue Jays were able to do, and it's certainly an accomplishment to win back-to-back World Series.
Grounded up the middle. Simmons there for the second out.
And this is what Flash is talking about, the Braves and what they've done. They've only won one World Series in Boston. 57, they won once in Milwaukee, and they won once in Atlanta. But you can see the division titles, 15 of them. With the Blue Jays, I think it's a little harder for them to get free agents to go up to play in Canada. And the Braves were able to sign Greg Maddux as a free agent. And that was a big part of those division titles. I don't think he was ever in play with the Toronto Blue Jays.
But when I think of Atlanta, I think of them always developing a good young player, it seems like, every year.
Yeah.
You know, you had Hayward in the outfield, Freeman, right, last year at first base. It seems like every year there's a new guy.
Kimbrel.
Yeah. That just kind of plays a big role and stays there for years.
I will agree with you. They're very good at scouting and developing, and particularly in their own area, the southeast corner of the United States. A lot of their players, their young players, come from Georgia, Florida. Minor on the mound tonight, grew up a Braves fan. Chapel Hill, Tennessee, small town in Tennessee. Somehow the Braves found it.
The 1-2. High fly ball. Center field. Backing up is Bourne. And he'll make the play right on the lip of the warning track for the final out of the fourth. Yankees still looking for their first hit as we move to the fifth, and Hayward will lead off. being held hitless by Mike Minor, and they trail 1-0. As Jason Hayward will lead it off against CC Sabathia. Hayward struck out in the second.
You know, Hayward's kind of a prime example of what we were talking about last inning. Hayward was actually born in Ridgewood, New Jersey, but his family moved to the Atlanta area, and the Braves made him a #1 draft pick. He was scheduled to go to UCLA on a baseball scholarship, but decided to sign with the Braves. I think he's famous for hitting a home run his first time up in the big leagues. If I remember correctly, his dad was there with a lot of co-workers and his family, and you could see his dad high-fiving the whole section.
Fights that one off into center field. Coming on is Granderson. He'll play it on a hop. A single for Hayward. That's a 5-game hitting streak for him. Kenny said Ridgewood, New Jersey, 14th overall pick in the 7 draft. Made the All-Star team in 2010. Rookie of the Year runner-up to Buster Posey. And that first career plate appearance, a 3-run home run.
Well, I didn't know it was a 3-run shot.
Kind of took a step back last year and trying to regain that stroke this season. There's Simmons.
Hayward can run 10 stolen bases on the year. Kind of expected the stolen base to be more of the Braves' game plan, but not really. Only 37 on the year. It's 14th in the National League.
You look at their lineup, there's only 3 guys in there who seem to have the ability to steal bases. You got Hayward with 10. You got Bourne, of course, with 17, and Prado has 7 out of 8. There's another example of Braves scouting. Andrelton Simmons from Curacao, but came to the States to go to college, junior college. And the Braves drafted him #2 a few years ago. Got called up the end of May. It's Hayward at first. And one reason they called him up, because in 253 minor league games, just 4 errors. So he plays a solid shortstop. Make that 253 chances this year at Double-A, 4 errors. And Michael, he looked pretty smooth at shortstop in Atlanta. He's got some skills.
You just look at this combination and it yells at you for a hit and run. Hayward runs well. We'll see if Simmons can just put the ball in play.
Off the glove of Sabathia. And everybody is safe. That'll be a base hit. Don't know if that would have been a double play or if that would have gone into center field. Let's see.
I think it's going to be, well, it's been close. Let's put it that way. But you had the infielders pinch towards the bag to turn that double play. CC can't come up with it cleanly, and CC says, "Oh man, would have had a chance for 2 if he came up with it." Now the Yankees are going to be looking for the bunt.
Strike to Ross.
No sign of a bunt there.
Well, sometimes a manager will give a guy like Ross an opportunity to hunt a fastball first pitch when the opponent's thinking he might be bunting. Ross did not pull the trigger.
It was right there.
Yeah, we'll see maybe if they put the bunt on now, or if they're going to play a little American League style baseball here in the new Yankee Stadium.
Now 0-2.
Frustrated manager right there. But 2 fastballs, Ken?
Well, the second one was tougher than the first. Second one had the corner. First one looked like it was right there. CC's had to deal with men on base every inning but one. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Had the help of a double play last inning. He's looking for another one here if he can get it.
Stewart keeps it close enough that they do not advance.
A couple of fastballs, and then CC follows it up with a slider down and in. Nice play by Stewart. You notice how he freezes Hayward at second base with his eyes glancing up at him before he retrieved the baseball.
Goes around and he's down on strikes. Not a very productive at bat for David Ross.
Yeah, but a big strikeout for CC Sabathia. After a few fastballs early, he goes to the slider back to back. It's a little half swing for Stewart. Loves it.
You know, you might be wondering why Ross, the number 9 hitter who doesn't play very often, didn't bunt there. And you look at his stats, he hasn't had a sacrifice bunt all year. Maybe the manager feeling that Freddie Gonzalez feeling that he's not capable of getting the bunt down. That's supposed to be a skill that every major leaguer possesses, the ability to bunt.
And especially a backup player, Kenny, a backup catcher.
Yeah.
It should be in your game plan. National League player.
Here's Bourne. Tripled and scored the only run in the game in the first. And there he singles up the middle. Hayward will score. They'll throw behind at second, and getting back in is Simmons, an RBI single for Bourne. It's 2-0 Braves.
Bourne does not waste any time. I noticed that he's swinging the bat early in the count. If you throw strikes, he's swinging at it. He's not the leadoff hitter that's going to take a lot of pitches, try and walk. He's going for the hits, and he's got another one here. It's his second hit of the game. He now has 90 hits on the season. Here comes Hayward in to score the second run as Granderson almost caught Simmons straying too far around second. There's the throw to second behind the runner, but Simmons scrambles back.
See a little frustration on the face of CC Sabathia. His last 4 or 5 starts really haven't gone the way he has wanted to.
Chop to second. There's one. On to first. Not in time. Took too long to develop. As Simmons moves to third.
And Prado runs well, and Robinson Cano had to come in and flip behind him to Derek Jeter. And like you said, Michael, it just does not develop quickly enough. Been a bunch of double plays in this ball game, but this one is not going to get turned.
Fastball strike to McCann, 0-1. Broken bat, slow grounder to Jeter, and they'll get McCann at first, and that'll do it. But the Braves add a run, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 men left, and a broken bat. We're halfway through, Braves up by 2. Turkey Hill has been the official ice cream of the Yankees, and they have Yankee-inspired flavors as well. Bronx Bombers Sundae, which is premium chocolate ice cream with chocolate cookie swirl and chocolate-covered crunchies, and Pinstripe Brownie Blast, premium vanilla ice cream with brownie batter swirl and brownie pieces, and they delivered it to our booth. How about that?
Go for it, Michael.
Alex Rodriguez swings and misses. I think I will, Kenny. Good stuff. The 0-1. Foul back. Yankees still looking for their first hit against Minor.
Yeah, prime example of Minor's good changeup. Had Alex out in front. Came back with a fastball, and he was a little late. The count is 0-2. It's almost as if early in the count you got to guess one or the other. I think I would do. I'd take the first strike and say he's going to start me with a change, and
there's the Yankees' first base hit.
And he makes a mistake 0-2.
So Alex was previously the only base runner with a walk. Now he picks up the first hit as well.
Well, as Kenny mentioned, a first pitch changeup, fastball, and then another fastball right down the middle. A mistake from the young lefty, and Alex Rodriguez takes advantage of it. The Yankees trying to get something going here in the 5th inning.
Here's another look on Yesmo. And right back through the middle for a base hit.
Opponents hit 223. First pass through the order against Minor, and then it goes up to 292. Second pass, and that's where we are right now. Second pass. So I told you 292 second. After that, 312.
Yeah, Minor came in with an ERA over 6. It's primarily because it starts early in the season. He was getting rocked, but the last 2 starts gave up 1 run against the Marlins in 5 innings and 1 against the Yankees in 7 1/3.
That one gets past Ross, and Alex Rodriguez advances to second.
Minor looked so good through 4 innings. Now all of a sudden things getting away from him a little bit. Base hit to Alex Rodriguez, and this slider cutter not even close.
Flash, when you catch it, you see a pitch like that approaching the plate. When does go through your mind?
It already went through David Ross's mind. You know, a guy's been locked in through 4 innings, and all of a sudden missing, getting behind in the count. Well, it's almost that time for a little conversation. Let's slow things down. One swing of the bat, we have a tie game here. Now what you see from young pitchers, Kenny, you know, the ability to make some adjustments during the game or during the inning, that a veteran has the ability to do that.
So Cano walks, putting runners on first and second, nobody out.
I'm surprised David Ross not going out here. You know, base hit. Walk, not even close. Dangerous right-handed power hitter in Andrew Jones.
Pitching coach Roger McDowell, the former Met.
Strike in the outside corner.
Good pitch and a good call by Ross behind the plate. A changeup. Slow down the pitcher a little bit mechanically. Good pitch to get ahead.
Yeah, one of the most impressive sights during batting practice, almost on a daily basis, is watching Andrew Jones hit. He can hit him a mile.
Up in the outside corner, and Andrew did not like his first at bat in the strike zone of Manny Gonzalez, and he doesn't like that call.
It's going to be another changeup. The first called strike was a change. A good reason he didn't like that one. That was outside. Yeah, looking for Eddie Gonzalez. I thought he clipped the front part of the corner.
Jones hit 368 home runs with the Braves. He was with them from '96 to 2007. Also won 10 Gold Gloves. There's strike 3. And Jones down looking. Second time tonight. No complaint on that call.
All 3 called strikes were changeups. You can see the target's low and away. Oh, that's not a change. It's a breaking ball. That kind of a slider. Andrew gives up on it, then it drops in there for a call strike. It's sort of off speed.
Yeah, he saw everything that at bat. Changeup, curveball, and a slider to finish him off.
Nice block there by Ross. Keep the runners put at first and second.
Yeah, there are some times as a catcher where you feel really good about a block. You keep the double play in order. Obviously a tight ball game, 2-0. Nice shot by Ross behind the plate.
And Russell Martin went on a hot streak not too long ago. Got his average up to the 2 teens, 216, and then it's cooled off and now back on the interstates. Just below the 200 mark.
So now 3-0. Anyway, Girardi green lights. Martin thinking he'll get a fastball.
I would think the way he's swinging a bat now, I don't think so. Build an inning by trying to load the bases here.
Line down the left field line. It is a base hit. Touched by a fan, so Alex will score. Cano will move to third. It's an RBI double for Martin. Yankees on the board. It's 2-1 Atlanta.
Well, the opposite way of thinking is maybe you get him going.
You also have Jason Nix and Chris Stewart coming up behind him. Joe Girardi gives him the green light. He does a good job of making sure the fastball is over the plate. He also does a nice job just keeping it fair into the stands. The Yankees will get 1 run with a bad break.
That was going into the stands anyway, so you can't jump on the person who grabbed it. It looked like it was bouncing right there as Russell sat on that pitch and drilled it just inside the line.
Martin's 9th double of the year produces a run.
Well, big spot for Jason Nix here. Couple of home runs, 4 RBIs. Second and third, only 1 out. Braves are going to play the infield back, conceding a run.
Yankees did not have a hit with runners in scoring position yesterday, so they picked one up there, looking for another here. Fouled away.
This rally started with a base hit by Alex Rodriguez on an 0-2 pitch.
0 for 12 with runners in scoring position yesterday. First time they won a game going 0 for 12 or worse since 1992. And that was not a great Yankee team. The 0-1. 1-1. So they finally have gotten to Minor, the first base hit, and now the first run.
Minor kind of exasperated the situation by walking Cano right behind the base hit. And Cano standing at third base now with 1 out representing the tying run. And he wasn't really close during that at bat.
20 pitches, just 1 out for Minor. Toughest inning so far in several different ways. And the count 3-1.
With first base open and Chris Stewart on deck, be surprised if Jason Nick gets a fastball down the middle. Probably be looking for a changeup or something off speed. See what Minor has on his mind. Look like the changeup.
Exactly what you have to have going through your mind. You figure out the situation as a hitter. And then it's almost like you backpedal from the fastball. You just, oh, I'd like to get one, but you know the situation dictates that I probably won't.
Yeah, but now you start playing mind games. You know, he threw the changeup 3-1. Is he going to try to sneak a fastball 3-2? Curveball.
So he walks Nix to load the bases for Chris Stewart.
Are you kind of surprised there's been a lack of mound visits? Like, this 24-year-old rookie, well, he's not a rookie because he pitched some last year, but still, just trying to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, McDowell just went out there and had a little talk. I'm sure it was about Nix and Stewart, that combination right there. You know, you still have the double play in order now for a catcher, known more for his defensive game.
There we go.
Start thinking back to these conversations. You know, it's like, hey, one pitch and you're out of this inning right here. You can execute a pitch here, get yourself a ground ball, you have a chance of escaping a big jam. Veteran backstop trying to calm down a young lefty.
A-Rod's run scored. Broke a tie with Melott. 22 away from now Tris Speaker. 28 away from Lou Gehrig. Chris Medlin up in the bullpen for the Braves.
Yeah, recently called for the minor leagues.
One and two. Bases loaded situations have not been the best for the Yankees this year. They've gotten some grand slams, but just a 174 average. Fly ball right side, foul territory, and the catch is made by Prado. And Cano holds it third.
Once again, Minor goes to his go-to pitch, which is the changeup, and he got Stewart out in front. Ross sits low and away, and you can see that Stewart's hoping he gets in his seats. It does not. Off-speed pitch.
And Chris Stewart took a fastball before that changeup, and I'm sure he's going to be sitting in the dugout thinking about the pitch he didn't swing at, as opposed to the one he did.
Here's Derek Jeter with a ground ball to short and a ground ball to second. He has an 8-game hitting streak. Bases loaded. Yankees trailing 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees with a 9-game winning streak. Today is the anniversary of Derek Jeter's only grand slam, and it was against the Chicago Cubs at the old Yankee Stadium.
It's a nice column to fill.
And that was in 2005, so 7 years ago today. Can he do it again? 1-1. Good hitter with the bases loaded. 324. Remember before he had hit that grand slam, Reggie Jackson would always explain. He said he doesn't have grand slams because he's not trying to hit them. He said that's not the type of hitter he is. He said if he tried to hit grand slams sometimes he would hit them. I know it always bothered Derek when it was always brought up to him because he did have good numbers with the bases loaded. And as Kenny said, he finally filled that column. Now another trip by Ross. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Always felt the best hitters with the bases loaded were the guys that didn't let the pressure get to them. It's almost as if they're hitting with nobody on. You know the bases are loaded. You step in there, your plate discipline goes up, with a chance to do some real damage.
Flip the outside corner to count 2-2 on Jeter.
A huge pitch right there by Minor. A changeup to get back in the count now. 2-2. Drops it on the outside corner, brings it back to the middle. Pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Braves lead 2-1. And now it's 3-2.
Great discipline.
Runners will go 3-2, 2 outs.
Seen this combination before. Fastball in off the plate, and then he goes with the changeup away.
Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Cano scores. Martin scores. Nix goes to third. It's a 2-run single for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 3-2.
Well, you get the count full. Minor has to throw a strike. He does, and Jeter's waiting for it. Hits it right back where it came from. Right past Minor's left shoulder and all into center field. The 2-run score, and the Yankees have the lead. And Derek's parents are going to celebrate with the rest of the stadium.
Pretty amazing. 5 championships, over 3,000 hits, and they still get excited when their son comes through. Here's Curtis Granderson. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And the count 1-0. One. 35 pitches from Minor in this inning. Line foul. Jeter goes. Pitch is swung on and missed, and Granderson's down on strikes. But the Yankees take the lead. They scored 3 runs. How do they do it? Russell Martin on a 3-0 pitch drives in 1 run. And then with the bases loaded, Derek Jeter with a single drives in 2. We go to the 6th. It's 3-2 Yanks. Question, which of these Yankees accomplishments is the most impressive? And here's how you vote it. 43% think it's 21 road wins, and John agrees. Then the 9-0 record against the East and 13-2 record in June. Thank you for voting, everybody. Please arrive home safely. 3-2, Yankees now lead. And Dan Uggla takes a strike from Sabathia. High fly ball. Granderson will make the play for the first out. Now he's up there.
Well, we had mentioned earlier the Braves broadcaster Don Sutton, Hall of Fame right-hander, pitched for several teams in the major leagues, but ended up winning 324 games. Today is the anniversary of his 300th victory. And Sutton, I faced him over the years. He was tough. Good fastball, excellent curveball. Maybe one of the best curveballs in the game when he's pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
'23 Major League seasons, 4-time All-Star, was the All-Star Game MVP in '77, 324 career wins, and he made the Hall of Fame in '98. Now, Don Sutton's Hall of Fame induction is one of the more hotly debated issues amongst baseball writers. And you know, there are some players that they say are great, and then there are some players that they say are compilers. And a lot of people felt that Sutton was more or less a compiler. But he's in. Took him a while, but he is in.
Don't you think 300 wins is going to do it?
That's always the automatic pass, but they felt, a lot of people felt that Sutton was the one 300-game winner that maybe wouldn't get in, but he ended up getting in.
All right, Kenny, you're a good guy to ask because you were pumping him up this afternoon about how tough of an at-bat he was.
He was. For me, he was. And in fact, you go back to the day my dad knew I was going to face him. My dad said, "You think he can get a hit tonight?" He said, if he makes a mistake, he doesn't make many. But I did. Eventually, I took him deep. After he came over to the American League, his stuff wasn't quite as crisp, but he was still a very good pitcher and knew what he was doing.
It'll be interesting the way home runs now seem like they've been somewhat devalued. If somebody who hits 500 and is not tainted by any performance-enhancing drug allegations, if anyone who hits 500 doesn't get in. The perfect test case was going to be Dave Kingman, who never got there. Hit the mid-400s, I think. Would Kingman have been a Hall of Fame player if he got 500 home runs?
Well, what about Freddie McGriff? Played for the Braves for years. What, 493, I believe?
Yeah. Which I've always found strange now. Would he be a Hall of Famer if he had 7 more home runs?
Well, for me, do you think of him as a Hall of Famer?
I don't think of him that on that.
And I agree with you. I think of him as a very, very good player. Good teammate. Played with him in Tampa, but I don't know if he's quite there.
Swing and a miss. Diaz was headed to first, but Manny Gonzalez said the ball did not bounce. So Diaz is out on a strikeout. By
the way, the year that Sutton won his 300th was 1986, pitching for the Angels. Diaz thought the ball was in the dirt, but evidently it was not. And, and that run was for running down to first was all for naught. 5th strikeout for CC Sabathia.
All of a sudden he's got a lead here in the 6th inning. Stuff looking a little bit better.
Here's Chipper Jones. There's a strike. Jones will go to the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
3rd greatest switch hitting home run hitter behind Mantle, Murray, and then Chipper Jones. Ground ball is short. Jeter's there. And after they give him the lead, CC Sabathia turns in a 1-2-3 inning. Just what you want your pitcher to do. Mark Teixeira will lead off at the bottom of the inning. In part by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Mark Teixeira leads off, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it away.
So CC Sabathia with a 1-2-3 inning. Minor's right back out on the mound after facing 8 batters last inning and throwing over 30 pitches. See if the Yankees can capitalize.
That one's driven deep to left field. Diaz back, track, wall. See ya. Home run, Mark Teixeira. And the Yankees lead 4-2.
Well, Flash, it didn't take long to capitalize. Mark Teixeira with his 12th home run of the year. Looked like a changeup. Stayed back, drills it into the left field bleachers. And by the way, that young lady, she's got home run number 100 for the Yankees this year. Off the bat of Mark Teixeira. She is excited.
Well, Johnny Damon fan. Pitch is up and in.
That's a great reaction.
And it's the Coors Light cold hard blast.
Well, it was a changeup. Teixeira probably went up there looking for one. So all the fans, Michael, who were tweeting that Teixeira would hit number 100. You picked the right man. There it goes.
And it's retrieved by the Shelley Duncan of fans.
The ball was tagged.
Having a good time.
Oh, that is fantastic. You come to the ballpark to have a good time. And she's including her whole section.
Now she's starting to hyperventilate. Now people are calling her. You're on TV. Swing and a miss. Alex down on strikes. 100 home runs for the Yankees. That's the most in the big leagues. And the top 3 teams are in the AL East.
She's out of breath.
Wouldn't it be funny if the guy behind her grabbed the ball and threw it on the field?
That's not funny.
Here's Cano. There's a strike. So the Yankees with 3 in the 5th, and Teixeira's home run in the 6th have taken a 4-2 lead. Medlin up again, and Johnny Venters. Simmons makes the play. Now Freddie Gonzalez, with Andrew Jones due up, is going to bring in a right-hander. So Minor was coasting until the 5th inning. In fact, he was pitching a no-hitter. That was broken up by Alex Rodriguez. Then the double by Martin, the 2-run single by Jeter, a home run by Teixeira, and a nice catch by that young lady, and the Yankees lead 4-2. Situated in center field, the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. Freddie Gonzalez makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And he will bring in Chris Medlin to face Andrew Jones.
Medlin was called up from AAA Gwinnett on June the 15th. When the Braves designated veteran Livan Hernandez for assignment.
I wonder why Gonzalez would take out Minor against the one player he handled easily in Andrew Jones. Those are the numbers on Medlin.
Yeah, he's probably going with the book. He figured Andrew might have figured him out, but also, Michael, remember in Atlanta when he got to about 100 pitches, that's when he took him out of the game. It just happened to be into the 7th inning then. And it was shortly thereafter that the Yankees scored 6 runs.
Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text that bat to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Fly ball, shallow center, coming on is Bourne. And that'll do it. But the Yankees add a run to their lead. Mark Teixeira stepped to the plate. Sit and change. Crushes it. Picks up his 12th home run of the year. Makes a fan happy. And the Yankees even happier. Your local Nissan dealer. Yankees have 4 hits, but they've made the most of them with 4 runs. The Braves 2-6-0. Jeter had a 2-run single to give the Yankees the lead in the 5th. Bourne had a triple in the 1st inning to score the 1st run. That had an RBI in the 5th inning to drive in the other run. And Teixeira accounted for the Yankees' 4th run with a solo home run, his 12th and the 100th for the team. So Sabathia has a 4-2 lead, and that will bring up Hayward to lead off the 7th. Breaking ball strike. Cadillac scoreboard, 4-2, Yankees lead.
Well, the Braves early in this ball game so aggressive on the first pitch. The pitch count in great shape for CC. This will be his 72nd pitch, starting off the 7th inning.
Well, that shows you a different approach of their hitters than the Yankee hitters are usually taking. They got Minor up to 99.
Yeah. I mentioned CC Sabathia got the lead the 6th inning. He threw a 1-2-3 inning up there. Give a #1 type starter a lead, usually knows what to do with it.
Swing and a miss. Take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Tim Hudson goes for the Braves 4-3, 3.90. Hiroki Kuroda has been dealing of late, 6-6. 3.43. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. with a pregame on Yes, and you can see the game at 7 on My 9. I'm more excited about tomorrow's game than Tim.
You know, speaking of the Yankees hitting their 100th home run, CC Sabathia coming up on his 100th strikeout for the season. Needs 2 more in this game.
Swisher out with a Charlie horse and telling Phil Hughes all of his secrets.
This is in Washington. Little number. Jordan Zimmerman made a great play, and the catcher, Jesus Flores' knee actually comes down with the shin guard on Swish's leg.
Chop to third. Alex Rodriguez fires to first to get Simmons.
Alex Rodriguez playing in on the grass, respecting the possibility of a bunt just out of the reach of CC, and he cuts across, makes the play, the easy flip throw on the run.
Ends up well on the first base side of second.
Here's David Ross. There's the strike.
Hey guys, I got to take a moment to congratulate my son Logan's Little League baseball team. The Brewers won the league championship for Pearl River Little League. And you think the Yankees are hot, winning 9 in a row? The Brew Crew won 14 in a row to finish up strong.
Wow. They finished the season with 14?
They started off like 2-6 and then went on a tear, won 14 in a row. Now they're actually playing a little tournament of champions in Rockland County, so congratulations, guys. A lot of fun to watch this year.
Sounds like the pitching staff turned it around.
They're also swinging the bats just like the Yankees too, the long ball.
Congrats to Logan and the guys.
Les, your kids are some of the busiest kids. They do just about everything.
So what does that mean for the parents?
That means a lot of taxi cab service. Or limo in your case.
Whoa. Whoa. Is that a shot, Michael?
I don't know. I don't even know how to judge that.
It's appreciation for what you do for your kids. I do the same thing.
Actually, the way the Brewers have been playing, it's fun to shuttle them back and forth.
Yeah.
They've been very entertaining. So congratulations, guys.
The 1-2.
This shot. You ought to know me better than that.
If it had come from me,
it's a shot.
Then it would have been a shot.
It's an innocent shot.
No, what I want your kids to realize, what you and A-Lin have done for them over the years. You've treated them with limo service, not only going places, but just as being parents.
That's
okay?
nice. That's nice.
That is not a shot. The 1-2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Only 82 pitches for Sabathia. So he's got a piece to stay alive.
You look back at the last 5 outs for CC, though. I don't think he's made a mistake. Everything is right where it should be with the slider down and in. Good change-ups. Yankees starting staff has been outstanding lately, and CC true to form tonight.
CC just missed stabbing that one, so a base hit for Ross.
That breaks a string of 7 in a row retired by Sabathia. Ooh, man. He reacted after the ball was somewhat by him.
You know, we talk about how good the Yankee starters have been and how good the bullpen has been, and really they're working in tandem, because when the starters can give you 6 and 7 every time out, you're not putting too much of a burden on the bullpen, and Girardi can mix and match from day to day and inning to inning, and that's why both the starters and the relievers have really done so well during the stretch. Most people would say that the official quality stat is 6 innings and 3 runs. And Yankee starters have given at least 6 innings in each of the team's last 18 games. Al Leiter was saying the other day he doesn't believe that that should be a quality start. He says it should be 7 innings and 3 runs. He said because 6 innings and 3 runs means you have a 4.50 ERA. He said if I had that, I would think I had a bad year.
Yeah, I agree with Al.
And then you really tax the bullpen. If you just gave 6 innings, well, that means you got to get 9 outs out of the bullpen. CC's attempting to go 7, 0-2 count. Runner on first and 2 outs.
Excellent pitch count, just 86 thus far.
Ground ball up the middle, and Jeter dives and flips to second to make the play. Nice play by Derek Jeter, taking a base hit away from Bourne. So for the Braves, in the 7th, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. The captain with the start of a 6-4 force, and we'll stay right here after 6.5 innings of play. 7th inning stretch time here at the stadium, and we also will honor America in the Bronx.
For a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America. God bless America.
Seventh inning, and on the Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees lead the Braves 4-2. CC Sabathia has in fact settled down. First hitter got a triple, then a ground ball made it 1-0, but he has certainly tightened it up since then. And a really nice play by Derek Jeter to end the top of the seventh inning. That looked like it was ticketed for center field and would have been Bourne's third hit. Here's Russell Martin. He put the Yankees on the board. They turned him loose on 3-0, and he got himself a double, and now he has another base hit. So he's 2 for 3 after coming into the game 1 for his last 18. Let's take a closer look at that Derek Jeter play with the super shot brought to you by Fujifilm Long Zoom digital cameras.
You can see Derek lay out for it, full extension. Obviously, with Bourne running, he's not going to have a play at first. He goes for the flip at second base to get Ross sliding. A nice stretch by Robinson Cano. Nice way to end the seventh.
You know, Russell Martin's a designated hitter today. He's got 2 hits, breaks a 1 for 18. I wonder what he's thinking. This is only the second time this year he's been the designated hitter.
He's thinking, I can get used to this, right? Don't get beat up behind the plate, just swing it.
Don't have to worry about pitch sequences, calling pitches. What is this guy like? What do we call now? He just hit one well last time up.
Raul Ibanez pinch hitting for Knicks here in the seventh. Don't know if anybody got a chance to see the Sunday sports section of the New York Times, but a really good story by David Waldstein. He is following Russell Martin the whole year, and he's writing the life of a catcher, and this is the first third, and all the the physical beating that you take and the things that you go through, and just a really interesting story by Waldo. Good job. So if you can get a hold of a Sunday Times, that was the first time that they ran that story, and then they'll do it another third of the season.
You ever read a story like that when you were catching Flash?
No,
what the catchers go through?
I'm interested, though. I mean, he's documenting like the bumps and bruises.
Bumps and bruises, and what you go through, how many times he's. I mean, Waldstein actually documented how many times you go into a crouch all year. Wow. And like he followed him for one game. He showed how many times he got up and down in a crouch while warming up the pitcher in the bullpen. Times he's gotten hit by foul tips. One time he got hit in the throat. And he said it really gets you nervous when you get hit right on the Adam's apple, which happened last year. This year it was on the side of the throat, but you have to use any part of your body to block the pitch. It's really, really well done. It was a big, long story. Grounded to first. The throw to second is in time. On to first. It's a double play. Turned nicely. Started by Prado. And you score that 3-6-3.
In Atlanta, Michael, Martin Prado was playing in the ATL. He's playing left field. Here, makes an excellent throw to Simmons, and Simmons shows off that strong throwing arm. Close play at first base. In fact, we're going to get another look. And it appears that he was out on Yesmo. Barely. Close play, but Martin Prado with the 3-6-3 double play.
Prado, who can kind of do it all. It's a nice defensive play right there, getting rid of it quickly to second.
Simmons got it back at first pretty well, too. And he had some pressure on him. He just delivered that with arm strength.
Hammered, base hit to left field. It's going to go to the wall, and Stewart will have a double. So Chris is now 4 for his last 11.
A nice swing on the fastball, down and in, able to beat him to the spot. Nice short, quick stroke. Using the left side of the field. You got to love that.
Well, the Yankee bats were somewhat silent through the first 4 innings. In fact, they didn't have a hit. They've broken out with, let's see, 7 hits in the last 3 innings. Or 6 hits in the last 3 innings.
Well, this would be a nice one here from Derek Jeter. A little 2-out knock as Venter's still getting loose. Braves bullpen. Give CC Sabathia another run to work with. Be a little bonus here in the 7th inning.
There's a hit that made it 3-2. A 2-run single by Jeter with the bases loaded. And the count 3-1. After 0 for 12 yesterday, the Yankees are 2 for 5 today with runners in scoring position. A base hit up the middle. Stewart rounds third. He will score. An RBI single for Jeter. And the Yankees now lead 5-2.
Translates to 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Jeter with his 2nd consecutive hit with runners in scoring position gets the job done. Looked like a hanging slider. Little cutter maybe.
You know, when Medlin got that big double play, he's thinking, I got 2 quick outs. I'm out of this inning. Stewart hits a double, and Derek Jeter a big 2-out knock. Give the Yankees another insurance run.
Chris Stewart is happy, starting 2 straight games. Medlin's not, so they're going to go to the bullpen, bring on a lefty to face Granderson with a runner on first base. It'll be Johnny Venters as the Yankees lead this one 5-2 in the Bronx. And now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Time Warner Cable. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $39.99. If you're a Time Warner Cable customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Johnny Venters against Curtis Granderson. There's a strike. Numbers on Venters. Opponent's batting average 317.
He was much better last season. In fact, Venters was the pitcher, Michael, that the Yankees took advantage of last Tuesday night in Atlanta. He came in, struggled with his control, eventually gave up the grand slam to Alex Rodriguez. Braves made a pitching change, and then Nick Swisher went deep.
Venters was one of the pitchers last year who just ran out of gas in September. They used that bullpen an awful lot, and that was one of the reasons that the Braves collapsed as thoroughly as they did and allowed the Cardinals to sneak into the playoffs and then end up winning the World Series.
Low bridge for Curtis Granderson.
August 23rd, they were up by 9.5. By the end, they were back by 1 at home as Granderson goes to first with a walk. Roger McDowell hit somebody up. Venters led the major leagues last year with 85 appearances. You know, a young arm like that. Venters didn't pitch as well in September. Kimbrel didn't pitch as well in September. Swing and a miss. You can see some of that stuff that Venters has on 94 miles an hour with that fastball.
And some good movement down and away. Velocity and movement.
0-2. Anthony Varvaro is up in the pen. Ross has had a busy night behind the plate. Count 2-2.
Looks like Venters would be a nightmare to catch. 94 with good movement down and away and a tight slider there. Nice shot by Ross, keeping it in front.
Alex is on deck. Swing and a miss. Dialed it up to 95, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We're going to go to the 8th inning. Prado will lead it off.
By Mazda, 6 strikeouts for CC Sabathia. All of them are on the sliders, down and away, down and in on Ross, a check swing. Diaz, the same thing. A good slider working for CC Sabathia tonight.
Here's Martin Prado. And there's a strike. Hyundai scoreboard, 5-2, Yankees lead. Long run for Teixeira, but he runs out of room.
I should mention that yesterday's win for the Yankees got them 15 games over the 500 mark, 40-25 on the year. And this is when you start to build even more. The next, you go by increments of 5, trying to get to 20 games over.
Swing and a miss. Prado down on strikes.
One more strikeout for 100 for CC on the year.
Well, you can vote along with us for tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are Sabathia, Jeter, Teixeira, or Bourne. Vote now and make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
We've seen this from CC Sabathia before in his Yankee career. When he gets a lead, he just kind of takes it to another level. Following the lead of this rotation, which has been on fire lately, the month of June.
Took something off that one.
.69 strikes, 25 balls, adding up to the 94 pitches.
With all this attention this Yankee rotation is getting, with everybody throwing the ball as well as they have, it reminded me of that 2003 Yankee team. Clemens, David Wells, Mike Mussina, Andy Pettit had the same type of feeling. You're going to win every night out.
Look at foul into the seats.
It's almost like they pass the baton. One next guy and on to the next guy and on to the next guy. And they just want to keep it going. Keep the other team off the board. Give your offense time to get going. It took the Yankees a little while to get going offensively tonight. Minor was pretty sharp in the early going.
And you know this feeling when you're in the clubhouse before a game and you look at the pitching matchups and you always like it when it's on your side. That's what the Yankees every day now feel good about it.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. As McCann down swinging.
We mentioned this is number 8 on the night, number 100 on the season for Sabathia. He becomes the second pitcher in the American League with 100 strikeouts. Justin Verlander beat him to it. Over to the National League, Steven Strasburg. There's the follow through. Picking up the target. And this is going to be what was a slider flash?
Yeah.
Another slider. You said it was his best pitch of the night. And it strikes out McCann for number 100 on the season.
Pitch to Ugla is low.
Sabathia's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning with the exception of the 4th, and in that inning he got a double play.
This will be his 100th pitch. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 100 or more pitches in each start this season, and Justin Verlander is the only other qualifier in Major League Baseball. That's what Sabathia does. He gives innings even when he doesn't have his best stuff. He sticks around long enough to throw 100 pitches. Nice play there by Cano, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sabathia and the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano, and Ibanez will come on and bat against the Braves. Is brought to you in part by The Amazing Spider-Man, in theaters July 3rd. By Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. The view from under the L on River Avenue. CC Sabathia has turned in a solid 8 innings, and he leads 5-2. New pitcher for the Braves is Anthony Varvaro. And there's a strike. Hyundai scoreboard 5-2, Yankees lead. The 0-1 to A-Rod. 0-2.
Good curveball there. Bavaro claimed off by the Braves off waivers from the Seattle Mariners as a local product. He's from Staten Island, New York. Graduated from Curtis High School back in 2002. It says here he threw a no-hitter in the city playoffs, striking out 15. Dealing.
Fouls it back.
95 with the fastball and a good sharp hook. That's a good combination.
That'll get it done. 15 strikeouts in a city game, right?
If he was throwing like that in high school.
That'll get it done.
Made his 2000 debut on Saturday against Baltimore down in Atlanta. About 2 runs over 2 1/3.
Nice play by Chipper Jones. Takes a base hit away from A-Rod. Later tonight, don't miss WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper breaks down the Yankees' current run through interleague play. Plus, Joe answers your questions submitted on Twitter, Facebook, and online. It's the Joe Girardi Show tonight after the postgame, and you can catch a new show Sunday at 7:30 only on Yes.
Well, looking down at the Yankee bullpen, I do not see any activity. So CC Sabathia going to be able to go out there for a possibility of a complete game.
Cano wraps one deep to center. Bourne back, still back, looking up. See ya! Home run into Monument Park. Yankees lead 6-2.
Cano with a home run yesterday down at Nationals Park. And this one straight away center field here at the big ballpark in the Bronx. Beautiful swing. You heard the sound. Long distance for Robinson Cano. The Yankees have another run.
I was just thinking, can he go in the other way yesterday in Washington for his home run, his 12th home run, and then dead center field? Good signs for Robinson Cano. Powered all fields.
Flash, you were just talking about CC coming out to start. He hasn't thrown a pitch in the 9th inning this year. As we look at Cano celebrating his 13th of the season. You see the reaction of Andruw Jones after that swing, and he fouled it back. It just should have hit that one. It takes a got a piece of the umpire, Manny Gonzalez, with the Andrew's thinking he should got into that one a little bit better.
Count 2-2. And Jones could not hold up. Doesn't feel like running the first, so he's tagged out. And he has a rough night. He's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
He does not look good on the curveball bounce. A little check swing. Does not run to first base. And as Kenny mentioned, he had a fastball to lean on. He didn't do it, and he pays the price with the curveball.
Russell Martin's had a nice night. Turned loose on a 3-0 pitch in the 5th. Double bounced into the seats and left. Drove in a run. He also came around to score that inning, and then a single to center field in the 7th. So 2 for 3 tonight. Coming in 1 for his last 18. And the count 1-2. Swing and a miss. So Martin strikes out, but Cano gives the Yankees little bit bigger lead with a home run to center field, his 13th of the year. Yankees are 3 outs away from their 10th straight win. And Jack Curry bring you tonight's highlights, including updates from around baseball, plus Meredith Marakovitz gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's the W.B. Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. So CC Sabathia looking for the complete game. Yankees lead 6-2. Matt Diaz will lead it off here in the 9th inning. And a strike. Dwayne Wise takes over for Ibanez in left. David Robertson just getting loose, just in case. Yankees have one other complete game this year. Phil Hughes did it on June 3rd. And there's a strike.
That was in Detroit, wasn't it? He was brilliant that night. Or day. It was a day game. When you think about the beginning of this series, the way Sabathia has pitched, it gives Joe Girardi a chance to rest the bullpen, which puts you in pretty good stead for the next couple of ball games. If Sabathia can get through this 9th inning.
Dribbled slowly to third. A-Rod Fields fires one away.
Tell you what, Alex Rodriguez really moving well tonight. A couple of nice plays, showing some range. Saw him going towards second base earlier this game and charging here and getting rid of it in a hurry. Nice play.
You know, when he throws on the run like that, it kind of reminds me back in shortstop days. You see Jeter make that play all the time at shortstop.
Yeah.
You don't see it all that often with third baseman. Balls usually come to them and then they make the play, as opposed to charging and throwing on the run on those softly hit balls. Of course, he's playing back deep.
Chipper Jones swings at the first pitch and skies it to right and out of play. Count 1-1.
Well, the slider's been the big pitch for CC all ball game, but he's going with the fastball here in the ninth, coming right at Chipper Jones.
Count 2-2.
Jones tonight is 0 for 3, but he started the night as a hitting better from the right-hand side of the plate this year, over 300. Started the night 325 as a right-handed hitter.
Two.
And Flash, you and I were talking about it. Players usually don't retire when they're hitting about 287, 290, but he is. He said this is it. He came in tonight a 287 hitter. We don't know how the remainder of the season is going to play out, but it's not as if he still can't hit.
Two. Missed outside. 20 years with the Braves, and there he is in all the franchise ranking. And Hank Aaron leads all the other categories. Three-two. He struck him out off speed. 1 out away.
Well, sometimes it's just not fair. You have a 4-run lead. Chipper Jones thinking he's going to come with the fastball, and he drops a 3-2 slider. Good location down and away. You see Chipper Jones way out in front. It's been the slider all night long for CC.
So that'll bring up Jason Hayward. Pitch outside. There's a strike.
Slider has been, I guess you'd say, magnificent tonight. Excellent pitch. When he's needed a strike or he's needed just to move it up or down, putting it where he wants to.
Right in on the hands. Looked like it got him on the hand, but he swung, so it's a foul ball.
Well, the target's in. That's where they want it. Well, right off. They got the hand and the bat, which is still a strike. Ooh. Like the hand is quivering somewhat, as you might expect.
Just to get you up to snuff on the rule, even if you get hit with a pitch, if you go around, the swing supersedes the hit by pitch, so that's a strike. Looks like he's going to stay in the game.
You can see how that can happen, Flash. After all those sliders, fastball in, and he's leaning out over the plate, ready to chase the slider.
And the 1-2. He struck him out. A complete game for CC. The Yankees win 6-2, and they have won 10 in a row. And that's their first 10-game winning streak since May 2005. So over 7 years have gone by, and they put together a 10-game winning streak. And couple that with the Oriole loss, and now the Yankees build their lead in the East to a game and a half. Stick around for the post.